I think it's quite important to give you a little bit of a background behind our decision to visit Rennes Le Chateau, because it is a really small, really remote village. It has less than 100 inhabitants. It is located on a bit of a hill that overlooks the area, so it's not exactly easy to get there, and it's not exactly on a sort of any kind of popular area, or it's not the kind of place where tourists usually go to. But when we came over to the south of France, my mom and myself, we absolutely knew that we had to go there, and we had to take that opportunity to visit Rennes Le Chateau, because there is quite a story connected to it, and within certain circles it is actually quite a famous town or village. And it has got to do, quite a story there. It has got to do with the search for the Holy Grail, and a huge secret that remains unresolved to this very day. It all started in 1885 when a new priest arrived in Rennes Le Chateau. He was sent there to run the local parish, and so the idea itself didn't sound terribly exciting, because it was just such a small, remote place where the new priest called Béranger Saunière was going to run the parish and was going to just do his priestly work there. However, after a while of living there on his very sort of mediocre priestly wages, after a while it seems that he encountered some scrolls, or found some scrolls containing some really amazing secret, or what we assume was amazing secret, because after that his life changed considerably, and he came into a position of very significant sums of money, which meant that he basically spent the rest of his life living in a fairly lavish way, renovating the church, and then also building the Tower of Magdala in his town, Rennes Le Chateau, and basically just spending a lot of money. So we still don't actually know what happened and what he found and what the reality of it was. But the theory, or many theories, very eloquently related in this book called Holy Grail, Holy Blood. It's it seems so, among many theories, that the strongest one seems to be that he found some scrolls that were a proof that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were in fact a couple, and they were married, and they even had children together. So the kind of explanation of the money that Saunière came into possession, the priest that came into possession, was that when he presented the proof or the scrolls to the Vatican obviously didn't want any of that to become known or commonly known knowledge, because it would just turn the Catholic Church upside down, and it would probably mean the end of Catholic Church, and hence they basically bribed him so that he would keep his mouth shut and never say anything to anybody. And he did very much keep his secret to himself. It seems that he only shared it with a very small circle of people, maybe even just one person, being his maid, the lady who was a young lady who was, I guess, taking care of him or the parish with him. And maybe possibly his friend, another priest from a nearby town. But nobody actually recorded what happened, and nobody recorded the actual secret of, or what the story was there, because we still to this day don't actually know what Béranger discovered and what the reason was for this dramatic change of lifestyle, or dramatic change of his life choices, or the way he was living his life. And a visit itself to Rennes Le Chateau, that town, is quite interesting, because there is so much secrecy, or such a mystery, like an ambience of such mystery surrounding it. But also it seems that either Béranger Saunière was trying to leave us clues in his own particular ways, or he was just a very, very weird person, because some certain choices he made when it comes to particularly the church itself, were quite bizarre. For example, he put this very menacing kind of looking evil creature at the entrance of the church, that still confuses people, and nobody knows why he actually made such a decision for the church. And another thing that really confuses people that visit Rennes Le Chateau and the church was that the images there seem to be not very traditional. I mean, it seems that especially in the 15 images of the path taken by Jesus, basically to his crucifixion, that these images contain certain elements that could be potentially seen as clues as to what Saunière was actually hiding. But that's all in the sphere of theories and assumptions and guesses, because nobody knows what the story was. Saunière died without revealing anything, without allowing us to find out what actually happened there. It's also quite possible that there was no mystery or no secret whatsoever, and simply he was just a very bizarre person that somehow came into a position of large amounts of money, and we just don't know what happened there, but there is maybe some perfectly good explanation. So the whole Holy Grail potentially, possibly, is not any sort of cup at all, but a line of descendants of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. The name Holy Grail or Saint Grail potentially, possibly comes from words sang royal, which means in French royal blood. So, there's just so many different assumptions and so many different theories and ideas and stories there, that obviously capture a lot of people because that's the story that Dan Brown contained or put into his very popular book, Da Vinci Code. So it is something really worth maybe pondering or thinking about if you're interested in the search of the Holy Grail and the mysteries of the universe.